Hi folks, this is class exercise number 2, and I'm picking up from class exercise number 1 by now, is that you should have all of your, of course, class exercise number 1 is predominantly installing the Node.js, and I had you do some DOS command to navigate in and out of it, and you should be able to create your new project that was called My App. We're going to get into that as well with it. But I want you to engage with me. The best thing to do is how you learn this is this. If you can get yourself monitors, the more monitors you have, or the bigger your screen is, the better off. And I always like to have a biggest monitor and have one screen that has, what I'm doing here and my video here, and do things over as development on another screen with it. Nowadays, desktop, screens are pretty inexpensive, a couple $100 with it, and this is a lifetime investment with it. I highly recommend that. I'm going to cover some things with you. I never got a chance to talk to you about introduction of React and all that stuff with you as well. So as we get into this more, I'm going to cover what is React, and a lot of you are familiar with the document object model, the DOM, and I'm going to talk to you about the React versus the React of the document model with it, and so on with this. I don't want to bore you with this and scare you with this as well, but let me share with you and pick up in continuity with what we did from the last time with it. If you recall, I had you create a My dash app, which is basically we went to the desktop and created a document, the whole project with it as well. The way how it actually works is this. So the first part of one of your exercise I'm going to have you do is probably get used to creating different types of React projects with this thing. Again, this is your first time. A lot of you, I'm going to assume that you never had JavaScript before. I'm going to assume some of you had some sort of CSS and HTML in here as well. Hopefully you took Web 1 and you got into my class with it, but if not, I'm going to baby you a little bit and nurture you a little bit before we get move on. It helps if you had some CSS and some HTML coding before you do this with it as well. So let me open up the DOS environment. If you recall how we get to the DOS in here, if you are, and if in your scroll bar in the bottom left in your search field at the bottom, if you do CMD for me, and I want to take you into the screen right here. Can you all see that? I'm at the prompt is the user, student, user, and student. I'm just using one of the students' desktop. So let me crank up this font right here so you can see this a little bigger with it. Maybe something like this. Is that better? So you can follow along with me with it. So do CMD in your file structure, in your search in your bottom left hand next to the Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 7 with it. So remember what some of the commands are. Like cd ... is what it backs you up to the parent directory. So I want you to take you out to the parent directory with it. We're going to go in. I want to do the same thing. And if you remember, the up arrow key and the down arrow key just basically pulls up the previous with it. If I want to get back to users, I'm back to users with it. So if I want to list what's the content of it is, that's how I list it, right? So the content of users has two subdirectories, public and student. So I'm going to go into cd student, and then I'm going to do dir again, and it lists all the content for me, as you can see here, right? So these are the content. Let me just make this a little bigger for you to see on here with it, right? So this is the content right now. As you can see, I'm looking for the desktop. That's what I'm looking for. Here it is right here. So here's the desktop right here. It's under the student with it. Every computer file structure is different. So CD, we're going to go into desktop. Okay, so get into it and then do the dir again for it. I would like for you to create a directory underneath the desktop. I have a whole bunch of stuff on here, excuse me. But the directory I want you to create, if possible with it, is if you can go in and create on your desktop, create a directory called React for me. All right. This is where we're going to actually put just creating a whole bunch of stuff in there. So I want you to be able to go in to React with it as well. If you look at here, Here's my directory. How do I know which one's directory? Look, it's labeled dir here. That's how it's the directory. Everything else are files. I know I have a messy desktop with it as well, right? With it. So if you want to see the same thing that's on your desktop, that's fine with it. But if you could for me, just navigate to cd react. All right. And if you look at my prompt, the way how the prompt is setting here, here's react subdirectory of desktops, doing all that stuff with it as well. Do dir for me. So I've been practicing and I've been demonstrating this with some of your other students in here as well. Inside React for me at this time right now, if you want to, you can create here's my app. I did it and I deleted it and everything with it. I've been playing a whole bunch of stuff with it. So if you want to go into, I like for you to create a subdirectory called sandbox. You can do that this way. You can do mk. You can do dir is a new command, make directory. So if I want to make a directory called Dan, all right, I hit enter. All right. Oops, I didn't recognize it. That's not good because I misspelled make mkdir, right? mkdir Dan. Okay, sorry, silly me. So if you want to see what it looks like, the dir, this is, if you can see the Dan directory right here. So in the same way that you would actually do in the Windows, this is more intuitive that you have to do this. So inside of your React, create a directory called sandbox for me. Can you do that? Sandbox it, just up or whatever you want to do. This is a content that we're just going to practice. I'm going to do cd sandbox. Just a place that we can play in. That's what every developer should have, a place that they can test out their codes and throw things on it together with it as well. So follow along here with me. And I'm in the sandbox. Remember what was the command that we actually create projects in here from when we pull the file from that GitHub for React to bring into this thing. Remember what that command was? It's npx space create dash what? React dash app space the name of your project. So this time I like for you to name it, call it something, I don't care. Call it make my app. Same as what you did in the first one, right? So if you hit enter, and it's going to take a few seconds with it. So I'm going to pause the computer right now, let it run for a moment, and then I want to come back and visit because it takes about a minute or 2 minutes to create that template. It pulls it from the GitHub onto your computer. Okay, so I want to pause for a second. So while this is cooking in the background, I want to talk to you about something with this. Well, the technique is what? Navigate to your subdirectory using the DOS command where you want to store your file, right? So that's why I had you learn all the DOS command with it. Once you're in the DOS command, look at this path right here, all right? Is that you have this path that tells you that you're in the subdirectory. Once you create the directory, it's called whatever that you're in going to create that directory once you do that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go in and you're going to actually create the npx create react app and the name of the app. So what does that mean? So underneath the sandbox that I have you created here, there will be a subdirectory that's also installed in here as well. So the subdirectory is called what I could create, my app, right? So that's going to be a subdirectory of the entire project with it as well. So as this is loading with it, so I want you to do this and several times with this, and once you're done, you should get a message that says, last message says happy hacking. I don't know why they put that with it. And the two commands that you would actually run here is cd my app. All right, so that's going to be cd my app. Okay, so I want you to practice this in your sandbox. Create 2-3 names that you could for me, 2-3 projects, so you get used to how you do the command code with it. I want to do that. So you notice my prompt now. I am in the project right now. The npm, all right, that I'm going to do is to start with it. This will open and start the developer live server in the behind. So I'm going to do that since I have it here. I could do it here or I could do it on the terminal. All right. Either way, doesn't matter. All right. So I want to show you this. So this is starting the development server with it. So here's how I would like for you to do. So I have the development server running. It's loading right now with it. I'm going to bring it in a second with it. So it looks like this. Let me minimize this. Move this out of the way. Bring this in this side. Okay, it looks like this. Can you see this? So it looks like this little orbiting icon that's rolling around here with it. And I like for you to place this, and have it showing. It's totally responsive as well. So it would be nice if you could show it like this. Have the code running here, and have your icon running here with it as well. So the next step we do is after we do the DOS command in that we do the npx, we basically bring a template of the React down to our computer. It opens it up, right? So the third step is you basically have to open that folder. So I'm going to navigate to the React right here. So I'm in the sandbox. Here is my app that I just created under that command name npx. So I select that folder. I select, and it's going to load. Now, I'm going to go over these files with you, okay? I'm running short on time here, but it's almost 12 minutes here. So this is a good point to stop. So let me stop right here with it, and I'll continue part 2. Part 2, this is the end of part 1 of class exercise number 2, and I'm going to talk to you about the file structure here in a second.